We've heard of God's promise to be with us always. We've heard of God's love for us in song and of God's grace. Now I have a song for us to sing together, to listen to together, as it may be. They're sort of our response, our words of love to God. It's a song that we sing on marriage encounter weekends. I'll never find another you. And as you sing this song and hear these lyrics, feel free to be thinking about those to your loved one, but especially I invite you to think about the words of this song, and sing this song to God. But a goodie, huh? Gina's from 1965. Man, that was a long time ago. That was even before Mom was born. One of the gifts of the last year and a half, I think many of you may know, we moved here to Canal Fulton. God sent us here in August of 2014, and within a week or two of being here, Lynn was diagnosed with cancer. Multiple myeloma, blood cancer. It was found out that the genetic abnormalities of the cancer, there are 3 different abnormalities that are sometimes present that make the cancer more resistant to treatment and more aggressive. Lynn had to outdo everybody else. She was a perfect 3 for 3. She had all 3 of them. Went through a stem cell transplant in December of 2014. Was in remission for a few months, and then August of last year, the cancer returned. Started radiation and chemo again, but the cancer was too smart, too aggressive, too resistant to treatment, and eventually shut down her kidneys. The But the blessing, one of the many blessings and one of the gifts in all of this, is from the very beginning when we were in the hospital back 2 Augusts ago, first diagnosed. Lynn and I had some time to talk and to share and to pray together and decide how we were going to handle this. And it was really important from the very beginning for Lynn that she shared this journey with anybody who wanted to walk it with her. Anybody who wanted to walk it with us. Total openness, total transparency, total vulnerability. This was Lynn, a gift of Lynn, a gift that God has taught me through her. And over the last year and a half, those of you who know Lynn and live with Lynn know that she did not let cancer define who she was. She did not let cancer define her life. She lived and loved deeply in the midst of cancer, all the way up to the end. I believe, and Lynn believed, that God miraculously healed her from cancer. She died from cancer, but God healed her from cancer, freed her from the burden of cancer, freed her to live and love in the midst of cancer, and then through it all, there was no pain. No pain. Miraculous gifts from God. And over the last few months, one of the things that Lynn has said, and one of her hopes before she died, was that she would come to know God's love for her so deeply that when it was time for her to die, to take her last breath, she was excited and she was ready to go. That she was excited and that she would feel sorry for all of us poor souls still hanging out here. And she also said, along with that, which was the more important part to her, is how that was going to happen for her. Do you know how she understood that to happen for her? By all of you sharing with her the ways that you see and experience God and God's love in your life. And she invited people again and again to share their experiences of God's life and God's love. There's memory cards if you haven't gotten one, bright colored ones, because that's Lynn, they had to be bright colored. It's an opportunity for you to take with you and to share with one another and with others the ways that you experience God in your life. That's what Lynn wanted for herself. That's what Lynn wants for every one of you. If I were to say one desire, the ultimate desire that Lynn had in her life and that I believe she continues to have now, is that each one of us, each one of you in this room, knows how deeply you are loved. How incredibly deeply you are loved by God. Look around for a minute. How deeply you're loved by all the people around you, and many more that aren't here with us today. And so, we thought it appropriate today to have an opportunity for anyone who would like to share, very, very briefly, in under 30 seconds, in just a sentence or two or three, how you have witnessed and experienced God's presence and God's love in and through Lynn. How have you witnessed God's presence and God's love in and through Lynn? And you have to talk into a microphone, so. And there's a lot of people here, so it's pretty scary. Very nice. Oh.
Okay, guys, here, I'm sorry. I wrote it on my phone so I wouldn't forget. I just wanted to say how the witness of this love is actually, I'm looking at it, and how
how beautiful it is. I find it no coincidence that her Love Fest is on Ash Wednesday, believing that from dust we came and dust we shall return. And that beautiful, magnificent stardust of Lynn is now manifest in every one of us, deeply planted, that we can continue to show her love to the world.
Words. Words. Words of God spoken through Lynn and her actions to teach and refocus me. We can speak and do the same to each other. Ignatian spirituality, find God's presence in all things. Watch. Just watch. Give from God, share a smile, give a big hug. Love unconditionally, encouraging, transformation, become infected in God. Confidence, appreciate every moment. Carry on. See you in a minute. I love you, Ray. I love you, Lynn. And I love all of you.
Gina's going to read a word that was written by Mackenzie. How old is Mackenzie? She's 8, a beautiful 8-year-old, part of Lynn's family, and Gina's going to share what she wrote for you.
Worst day ever. I don't like February 2nd, 2016. It was when my aunt went to heaven. But people told me she was in a better place. And I knew who she was. She was with God, and that made me happy. She is with Jesus too. I miss her, and I think she misses us too. Bye, Mackenzie Co-op. I love you, Aunt Lynn.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mackenzie.
To write mine too. I saw God's presence in Lynn's strong personal faith. I know everyone did. Ever since we met in that Cracker Barrel, I've been amazed at how she lived out a complete reliance on God, willing to follow His direction, giving up so much in terms of house, security, career. And even though He didn't heal the earthly body, here, I could see clearly that God never found Lynn. So to me, I see God's trustworthiness and mercy and love of an amazing Father because of the way she lived. I just read this morning, faith is not belief without proof, but trust without reservation. And she lived that.
My wife Robin and I have been connected to the marriage encounter community. We've always said we don't want to have any regrets, and I thought to myself, I'm not going to regret the fact that I didn't say something. And for Jeff and Lynn and the girls, marriage encounter has moved their family in such a loving direction. For the little bit we saw of them in the stories of Bixley, the seminary, the small place, they extended the love to have us put up for a night after we came back from an England trip with a marriage encounter group. And I know I was going to beat the 30-second law. I was going to ask for like 28.
29.
Just love each other, and I just want to encourage it. And marriage encounter has meant so much to Robin and I and the whole community. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I just,
Green?
Okay? Hi, I'm Lynn's father, and I just want to say that Lynn Marie Goggins was sent here to do an assignment. She's completed her assignment. And if you read 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 40, it says, all things have been done decently and in order. Thank you.
I didn't know if you were just sneaking up on me. I never know what
Is this thing on?
you.
I have had the pleasure of sharing adult Sunday school with Lynn. And one thing that really kind of struck me is when I looked at Lynn and she looked at me, I think she saw through me. And that's scary, but I think she still liked me. So I often thought, because after brief conversations with Lynn, and they were real lengthy, but I think she got it, or at least understood me, and that's not easy.
So if I say something?
You probably don't even need this.
I don't know, I gotta use my voice later tonight anyway. Something about Lynn that I've always seen is that she just was someone who drew others to her. And it was just kind of a natural thing. And it's down in Trinity and the congregation you all came from, I would watch that as you and Lynn would just kind of pull people together for different things. And were naturally drawn to both of you, but mostly Lynn, Jay.